Few people in history have been as relentlessly driven to succeed as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Born in Austria, he made his way to America in the 1960s and swiftly became a dominant force in the world of bodybuilding. Despite being told his thick accent, overly muscular physique, and unpronounceable name would hold him back, Arnold defied all expectations. He rose to become one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, starring in blockbuster hits like Conan the Barbarian, 1982, and The Terminator, 1984. For most people, this would be a career pinnacle, but not for Schwarzenegger. In 2003, he took on an entirely new challenge, becoming the governor of California. Let's dive into some of the most fascinating aspects of his extraordinary life and career. Born on July 30th, 1947, near Graz, Austria, Arnold Schwarzenegger's childhood was anything but easy. His family lived without modern comforts, no plumbing, no telephone. His father, Gustav, was the local police chief and, as Schwarzenegger would only learn much later, a member of the Nazi Party. Gustav also created a tense environment at home, often pitting Arnold against his older brother, Meinhard, in competitive athletic challenges. It wasn't until Schwarzenegger discovered bodybuilding that he found his true passion. Arnold's strained relationship with his father may have fueled his ambition to forge his own path and leave Austria behind. His father was harsh and abusive, contributing to the rocky dynamic. Adding to the tension, Gustav doubted Arnold was his biological son, showing clear favoritism towards Meinhard. When Schwarzenegger finally left Austria for the United States, he never looked back. Although he stayed close to his mother, Arnold distanced himself from his father and his troubled family past. He did not attend his father's funeral, nor Meinhard's. This marked the beginning of Arnold's journey toward building his own identity, far from the shadow of his difficult upbringing. Though Arnold Schwarzenegger is best known for his bodybuilding career, his athletic journey didn't start in the gym. Like many young athletes, Schwarzenegger first found himself on the soccer field, playing mostly to gain approval from his demanding father. While he stayed fit, by his own admission, he was pretty skinny at the time. That all changed when his soccer coach took the team to a local gym for some weight training when Arnold was around 14 or 15 years old. It was a life-altering moment for the future bodybuilding icon. It piqued his interest. From that point forward, Schwarzenegger abandoned soccer and devoted himself to the world of bodybuilding, setting the stage for his legendary career. The early days of dedication, Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding obsession. Arnold Schwarzenegger's passion for bodybuilding ignited early, and by age 17, he was already competing. His obsession with perfecting his physique pushed him to train every single day. No excuses. When his local gym closed on weekends, most people would take a break, but not Arnold. Determined to stick to his routine, Schwarzenegger went as far as breaking into the gym on Saturdays and Sundays, refusing to miss a single workout. For several years, he trained like this, demonstrating the unstoppable drive that would later define his career. By age 17, he had officially turned pro, embarking on his journey as a competitive bodybuilder. In 1965, while fulfilling his compulsory one-year service in the Austrian Army, Arnold Schwarzenegger's dedication to bodybuilding didn't take a back seat. He made his own weights at a local metalworking shop and continued training while serving in the military. The balanced meals and protein provided by the Army helped him pack on an impressive 25 pounds during his time there. However, Schwarzenegger's passion for bodybuilding soon led to a rebellious moment. Determined to compete, he went AWOL from his base to enter a bodybuilding competition in Germany. His risk paid off. He won the competition. But upon his return, he faced the consequences and spent 7 days in military prison for his unauthorized absence. This marked just one of many instances where Arnold's unrelenting drive outweighed any obstacle in his path. During his time in the Austrian military, Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't just focus on bodybuilding, he also learned how to drive a tank. This experience left such an impression on him that years later, he went on to acquire the very same tank and had it shipped to the United States. In 2000, Schwarzenegger loaned the tank to the Mott's Military Museum in Ohio, but in 2008, he had it returned with a new purpose in mind. Arnold planned to use the tank as a motivational tool, offering rides to disadvantaged youth in Los Angeles as a reward for excelling in school. This was yet another example of Schwarzenegger blending his larger-than-life persona with a commitment to giving back. Long before Arnold Schwarzenegger was fighting off futuristic robots, evil sorcerers, and extraterrestrial threats, he was dominating the world of bodybuilding. At just 20 years old, Schwarzenegger won the prestigious Mr. Universe competition, becoming the youngest person ever to claim the title. Yes, we know, it's almost hard to imagine now. But that early victory was just the beginning. Schwarzenegger didn't stop after making history. He kept competing and went on to win the Mr. Universe title an incredible 4 more times. By the time he retired from bodybuilding in 1980, at the age of 33, he had cemented his place as one of the greatest in the sport's history. From a young age, Arnold Schwarzenegger had a bold dream: to move to the United States and become a famous actor. For a poor kid from Austria, he figured the best way to achieve that dream was to first make a name for himself as a champion bodybuilder, and it's hard to argue with the results. In addition to becoming the youngest Mr. Universe at 20, Schwarzenegger went on to dominate the world of bodybuilding through the Mr. Olympia competition. He clinched the coveted Mr. Olympia title an astounding 7 times, with his first win at age 23, setting another record as the youngest champion in the competition's history. His remarkable success laid the foundation for the Hollywood career that would soon follow. When Arnold Schwarzenegger arrived in the United States in 1968 to pursue his bodybuilding dreams, he quickly became a dominant force, winning 7 Mr. Olympia titles. But his victories weren't just the result of his impressive physique. In a 2015 interview with podcast host Tim Ferriss, Schwarzenegger revealed that he often used psychological warfare to rattle his competitors and gain the upper hand. One of his tactics involved subtle mind games. He might casually ask a fellow bodybuilder if they had a knee issue, saying, "Your thighs look a little slimmer to me. I thought maybe you can't squat, or maybe there's some problem with leg extension." The question would plant seeds of doubt in the competitor's mind, causing them to feel self-conscious. Meanwhile, Schwarzenegger, always brimming with confidence, would seize the opportunity to outperform them in front of the judges. It was a perfect blend of mental strategy and physical dominance that helped cement his legendary status in bodybuilding. Long before Arnold Schwarzenegger became a world-renowned bodybuilder and Hollywood superstar, he was already making a name for himself as a savvy businessman. His rags-to-riches journey took an unexpected turn when in 1968, at just 21 years old, Schwarzenegger launched a bricklaying business in California. And, let's face it, if you're going to hire someone to lay bricks, why not pick Arnold? Teaming up with fellow bodybuilder Franco Columbu, whom he would later surpass to win the Mr. Olympia title, Schwarzenegger found immediate success. The business thrived, thanks in part to his sharp business sense and a surge in demand for building materials after the 1971 San Fernando earthquake. This early entrepreneurial venture was a testament to Schwarzenegger's ability to turn every opportunity into success, long before he became a household name. Arnold Schwarzenegger's rise to financial success is as legendary as his bodybuilding and acting careers. Starting with his successful bricklaying business, Schwarzenegger demonstrated his sharp business instincts early on, turning his earnings into another business. He started a new mail-order business that sold exercise equipment and instructional videos. From there, his career as a champion bodybuilder opened the door to Hollywood, where he became one of the most recognizable and highest-paid actors of the 1980s and 90s. At the height of his career, his net worth was estimated to be between $400 and $800 million before his divorce in 2011. Schwarzenegger's journey from a small Austrian village to self-made millionaire proves his relentless drive extended far beyond the gym and movie set. Even before Arnold Schwarzenegger became a household name in Hollywood, he was already a self-made millionaire. While his bodybuilding career brought him success, Schwarzenegger knew that prize money alone wouldn't be enough for long-term financial security. So he wisely invested his earnings into California real estate during the 1970s, benefiting from a boom in property values. These smart investments allowed him to build a reliable source of income outside of bodybuilding, giving him the financial freedom to be selective about the acting roles he took. This foresight set Schwarzenegger up for long-term success, well before he became one of the highest-paid actors in the world. Before Arnold Schwarzenegger became a blockbuster movie star, he made a few television appearances to gain exposure. In 1973, the Oak tried his luck on the New Dating Game, a show where contestants select potential dates from behind a partition based solely on their answers to questions. While his bodybuilding fame hadn't yet turned into Hollywood stardom, this quirky TV appearance gave audiences an early glimpse of the man who would become one of the biggest action stars of the 80s and 90s. Arnold Schwarzenegger's first big-screen appearance came in the 1969 B-movie Hercules in New York, a campy cult classic. In this legendary debut, Schwarzenegger plays the titular Hercules, who, bored with life on Mount Olympus, heads to New York City for a series of outlandish adventures. These include memorable scenes like fighting a bear in Central Park and chasing down mobsters in a chariot. At the time, Schwarzenegger had only recently learned English, and his accent was so thick that the film's producers feared audiences wouldn't understand him. As a result, his lines were dubbed over by another actor for the film's release. Today, you can find versions of the movie with Schwarzenegger's original voice track, adding to the charm of his quirky debut. As Arnold Schwarzenegger transitioned from bodybuilding to acting, he faced early challenges in Hollywood. His first starring role in 1970's Hercules in New York, where he was billed as Arnold Strong, didn't exactly launch his acting career. The movie flopped, and his thick Austrian accent was dubbed over by an American actor. Seeking advice after the success of Star Wars in 1977, Schwarzenegger turned to Mark Hamill. Hamill suggested he drop both his accent and his last name to improve his chances in Hollywood. But Arnold had other ideas. He ignored the advice and later reflected that his accent actually became an asset, setting him apart and making him a unique and recognizable figure in the film industry. The rest, as they say, is history. Arnold Schwarzenegger has always had a good sense of humor about Saturday Night Live's iconic Hans and Franz characters, two over-the-top Austrian bodybuilders played by Dana Carvey and Kevin Nealon. In fact, according to writer Robert Smigel, Schwarzenegger was seriously interested in starring in a big-screen Hans and Franz musical during the early 1990s. The planned movie would have followed the duo as they traveled to California in search of fame, with Schwarzenegger playing both a version of himself and, hilariously, their grandmother. While the film never saw the light of day, co-writer Conan O'Brien revisited the project in 2023, having Carvey and Nealon perform scenes from the script on his podcast, The Lost Hans and Franz Movie. In a fitting tribute to the pride of Thal, Austria, Arnold Schwarzenegger's childhood home has been transformed into a museum. Announced in 2011, the museum allows visitors to step inside the first-floor flat where Schwarzenegger grew up. Inside, fans can see a variety of memorabilia, including his old bed, weightlifting equipment, a motorcycle from the Terminator, and even a replica of the desk he used during his time as governor of California. It's a celebration of his extraordinary journey from a small Austrian village to international stardom. As Arnold Schwarzenegger was starting his Hollywood career, he auditioned for the role of the Incredible Hulk in the popular TV series. The show, which eventually cast Bill Bixby as the mild-mannered David Banner, was searching for someone to embody the Hulk's iconic, towering presence. Despite Schwarzenegger's impressive physique, he lost out to his pumping iron rival, Lou Ferrigno. Ferrigno went on to play the Hulk for 5 seasons and in 5 made-for-TV movies, a role that became his most famous performance. While Schwarzenegger didn't land the part, it wouldn't be long before he found his own path to superstardom. Though Arnold Schwarzenegger is best known for his work in front of the camera, he's also tried his hand at directing. In 1990, Schwarzenegger stepped behind the camera for an episode of HBO's horror anthology, Tales from the Crypt. The episode, titled The Switch, follows an elderly man who buys new body parts to impress a younger woman, with predictably grim consequences. pleased with his directing debut, Schwarzenegger went on to direct the 1992 holiday film Christmas in Connecticut, which aired on TNT. This remake of the 1945 Barbara Stanwyck classic features Diane Cannon as a cooking columnist who falls for a forest ranger played by Chris Christopherson. Schwarzenegger's directing efforts earned him the playful nickname Conan the Director from the Los Angeles Times.